Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Passport Doubles episode. So, firstly, you might be asking yourselves, why am I here and not over on Twitch like we kind of discussed and were kind of advertising all last week and this week. So, I'm pre-recording this episode, by the way, because it got to this afternoon and I've totally double booked myself for tomorrow evening, and I'm not around to do the stream, and I'm like super sorry about that, guys. I hate that I've done that. I totally forgot that I had something else going on tomorrow evening. But I didn't want any content not going out tomorrow night. So this is why I'm doing a video here. So we will, as planned, go ahead with the stream on the Twitch channel, but it will be on Thursday. So we'll kick off on Thursday this week, and then we'll kick into it properly next week. So it's going to take a little time for me to adjust to the stream settings and setup and everything like that anyway. So we're going to do an episode tonight, have a couple of games. Playing the same team as we did last week, and starting this week, that we created ourselves together on that streamed episode that we did a few weeks ago. And yeah, I'm just super sorry about the stream. I know I probably should have checked my schedule going into this week, but if I'm honest with you guys, everything at the moment with doing the YouTube channel and just life outside of the YouTube channel is getting a bit hectic. It's a lot of work doing videos every day, content every day, prepping new teams, making sure I've got like stuff going on for you guys all the time, because I really feel like I want to keep doing it. I am enjoying it, and that's the thing. I don't expect anything back, but just at the minute it's just feeling a bit like overwhelming, and I think tomorrow evening or tonight, with me kind of double booking myself, kind of shows a little bit that I need to maybe sit back a bit and reevaluate things going forward. I'm not normally like this, and not normally so unorganized with forgetting that I had something else going on at the same time. But at the end of the day, I did want to make sure that I got something out for you guys. I didn't want to just leave it where you guys maybe were going across to the Twitch channel and thinking, where's the stream? It's offline. He said 8 PM. So I just wanted to make this out. This is going out a bit earlier, so hopefully you guys will pick this up, see what the situation is, and then we can pick up on Thursday and hopefully kick off with a bang. So I'm really looking forward to doing the streams, because as I've said before in the past, when we have done the streams, just the interaction with you guys is like amazing. I love it. We can't find an opponent, so let's hop back on. This isn't good, isn't a good start, but I guess it's letting me kind of explain all of this before we get into anything, without kind of cutting into the team preview times like we normally like to do on these videos. So let's click in as the team. So as always as well, guys, if you're still trying out the team or playing around with it, do let me know how it's gone. I'm really interested to know how you guys, if you've been playing it or things like that, have been going with the team. Obviously we've been having quite a bit of success with it, touch wood. Hopefully that doesn't end today, and hopefully we can find an opponent pretty quickly. But yeah, do let me know how you've been getting on, because I do really want to know, and it's all information that we can all use together when we do the team review, look at if we want to change something or not. But at the moment everything seems quite alright. So let's go into these two matches and see how we get on. So we've got our first opponent of the day, a Japanese player running a Hitmonlee, Snorlax, Murkrow, Milotic, Mimikyu, and Charizard. So it's probably Charizard Y, maybe Charizard X, you never know, but it's probably the Mega on the team. Hitmonlee providing fake out support. It does have, I think, is it Unburden ability as well, so if its item gets used then its speed doubles. So it can be quite an offensive threat to the team, especially because we've got that double Sand Core that is weak to fighting type attacks. You've got Snorlax there that is the kind of anti-Trick Room Mon there, and paired with that Mimikyu, it's a very common combination that we've seen in VGC 17. So just transitioning into the Battle Spot doubles, and something not to be underestimated at all. Milotic there, going to be a bit of a pain for us bringing and cycling those Intimidates and Charizard, whatever it is. We should be able to manage all right. Murkrow is going to be a bit of a problem as well, with that Prankster ability. So what do we want to do here? I think Gardevoir is a nice lead with maybe Zapdos. I do want to bring Tyranitar but maybe Araquanid's nice here with T-Tar. So we'll lock in with those 4 quickly before we run out of time and see how we get on. So yeah, and I don't mean to be, I don't mean to like sound whiny or anything with just how scheduling has gone for the channel, you know. It's not on anyone else but myself. I've decided that I want to upload content every day, and as I say, I do enjoy it. It's just, it's difficult to manage everything sometimes because I have like a full-time day job that I go to like outside of this, from like 8 till 5 every day, and then I have to come and try and record videos on top of that, and then I have like a girlfriend and like a house and all these other things that are going on, you know, to manage with, and it does get a bit on top of me sometimes, but we'll manage, it'll be fine. I just need to just let you guys know if we do take a step back, that's reasons why. So anyway, on to the battle. So we have Milotic and Hitmonlee. So we've got the fake out pressure there. I don't mind Zapdos getting faked out because it could activate the static ability that we've got on the Zapdos. I think I might just protect Gardevoir, Mega Evolve, protect, and I think we'll go for a Tailwind with Zapdos, because if we get a Tailwind off, it's gonna be pretty nice going into that next turn. We'll be able to put a lot of pressure on my opponent's side of the field. So we do see the Milotic switch out. Mimikyu take its place, so we've got to be a bit wary about the potential Trick Room being fired off that next turn. So there's the protect, but we might just get faked out from this Hitmonlee. There's the fake out. It is into the Gardevoir slot though. Okay, and we do get the Tailwind up, which is pretty nice. So you've got to imagine that my opponent probably goes for the Trick Room here. That Mimikyu bound to have Trick Room. We guarantee it probably has Trick Room. So what we could do is Trick Room ourselves. It's a bit risky, but it kind of makes a lot of sense. And just go for a... like we could Heat Wave just to get double damage, but we're probably better off just going for a T-Bolt into the Mimikyu slot with our Zapdos, just to break that disguise. So I'm going to lock in that play. As I say, it's a bit risky, but I think if we pull it off, then it's going to put us into a nice position going into this next turn. So we do get the fully paralysis on the paralysis onto the Mimikyu. Hopefully it's not fully paralyzed, because if it is, then we set the Trick Room up for them. So that could be a bit of a disaster. We see a Rock Slide come out from this Hitmonlee. It's going to do respectable damage to both Pokemon. Oh dear, what is this? Okay, so no Trick Room. This is just going to be a never-ending nightmare. So this is going to be into the Gardevoir slot. This is going to take us down, which I guess is alright, because it does kind of mean we're not setting the Trick Room up for my opponent. But in the same respect, it's not ideal either, losing Gardevoir so early on. Now what do we do? I mean, we've got a Araquanid we can bring in here, because we do have Wide Guard. So we'll bring in a Araquanid. We'll keep T-Tar for later on. I kind of need to get rid of this Hitmonlee before we do anything else. Let's go for a Hydro Vortex into the Mimikyu and just a T-Bolt into the Hitmonlee. So the Hitmonlee withdraws. We see the Milotic come in, so we're going to catch it with a Thunderbolt, which is nice. We should be able to get rid of the Mimikyu here as well, because Tailwind, I'd imagine we should be outspeeding Mimikyu, paralyzed as well, so we are. So we will get rid of that. Get rid of the Trick Room option on my opponent's side of the field, unless it is Sash. Oh, well, we know it's not Sashed. What am I talking about? It has the Z move, so we're going to get rid of it here. So we've still got one more turn of Tailwind left. I wonder if the Hitmonlee will come back in. Yeah, there we go. Now it's bound to go for the fake out onto the the Zapdos, you've got to imagine. Let's just go for the liquidation into the Hitmonlee and go for a T-Bolt into the Milotic. So I wonder if, yeah, well, there's the fake out. It is going to activate the normal gem. Oh, it fakes out into the Araquanid. Okay. I don't mind that at all, because we get to take down the Milotic. And that Hitmonlee has revealed it's got Rock Slide. But we do have Wide Guard on Araquanid, so that is going to help us out a lot. We do see Charizard Y hit the field now. Well, Charizard Y, we assume. It could be Charizard X, you never know. I think I will go for the Wide Guard here. And I'm going to go for... I'm just going to go for a... Yeah, Thunderbolt into the Hitmonlee slot. We've got to kind of hope that they go for the Rock Slide here. And maybe a Heat Wave. So let's see what my opponent goes for. There's the Drought from the Charizard Y. We do have T-Tar in the back that we can bring in, get rid of that Sun. And there's the Wide Guard. There's the Rock Slide. So that's blocked, that's good. Now let's see what this Charizard goes for. Heat Wave, excellent. Okay, that's brilliant. And there's the Thunderbolt. Let's see what it does to the Hitmonlee. Doing a good chunk of damage. Right, so this turn, we've got to expect that my opponent won't go for the spread moves. So I'm going to go for a Liquidation into the Hitmonlee, and I'm going to bring in T-Tar in my Zapdos slot. I can't imagine the Hitmonlee going for Fighting type attack into the Zapdos, so we should be pretty safe bringing it in here, and we'll get rid of the Sun as well. Charizard might go for a Solar Beam or an Overheat as an alternative to Heat Wave, just because of the Wide Guard there. So let's see what my opponent goes for. Hopefully they don't call my bluff or call this switch in. There's a Poison Jab. Is into the Araquanid, and there's Fire Pledge. Okay, into the T-Tar, but that's fine. And get the liquidation off. This should pick up the kill, and we're going to be able to easily take care of this Charizard Y with our T-Tar and our Araquanid. So nice start to the game today, or the episode today, should I say? So things looking a bit dicey that first turn with the you know, that risky play going for that Trick Room, expecting the Mimikyu to kind of go for it, and you would kind of expect it in that situation with, you know, my opponent having the Snorlax in the team. It could have been potentially in the back, but I didn't opt for that. So Tailwind working out the better play there, and we kind of, even after losing Gardevoir, we managed to kind of adapt our player and kind of bring the game back under our control and kind of close it out quite nicely. The biggest threat, I think, at most points of the game for our T-Tar especially was the Hitmonlee, but the Wide Guard kind of really coming in instrumental there and allowing Zapdos to get that crucial Thunderbolt off to put it in range, and then kind of throw our opponent off with their next turn attacks after the Wide Guard. So team doing a good job. So let's go into our next game. Hopefully we find a very, very good opponent very quickly. Yes. Here we go. Brilliant. Another Japanese player, 1733 rating, and running a team of Charizard, Landorus T, obviously, Venusaur, Rhyperior, and Cresselia. So, one of my favourite Pokemon, Rhyperior there. Obviously, we are using it in our MBL team, me and Hibiki, in the MBL Season 2 at the moment, and it's been instrumental in our matches up to now. So, it does threaten our Sandcore quite heavily, and the Landorus there as well, threatening the Sandcore. Let's see what we can do here. I think there's obviously a Trick Room switch, I would imagine, between the Cresselia and the Rhyperior. We have to be careful for skill swap shenanigans as well. There could be a bit of an issue. Let's see, what can we do here? I think, do I want to bring him on top? It's not the best in this matchup, really. Gardevoir is extremely good here. The Intimidate might be nice, and the Fake Out support is quite nice. That turn 1, so I think I will bring him on top. Should I bring T-Tar and Araquanid again? I think, yeah, let's lock in with that. Because Araquanid should be pretty nice against Landorus. Kind of resists the Charizard, big Charizard attacks. Does alright against Rhyperior as long as we're not in a Trick Room, because I'm pretty sure it underspeeds us in a Trick Room, so. But we'll see what happens anyway. So we see my opponent lead off with that Charizard and Venusaur lead, so nice lead there. What are we going to see? Going to see the Charizard Y evolve, Mega Evolve. The Venusaur probably will have Chlorophyll, and we'll want to go for a Sludge Bomb into Gardevoir. So I think we could Mega Evolve here and go for a, you know, the Fake Out's so obvious, so I would imagine the Venusaur protect this turn and then go for an attack the next turn once the sun's up. So I'm really tempted to just go for a feint into the Venusaur and a Psychic and double into it here, because I can totally expect to see the a double protect here maybe from my opponent. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for the feint and Psychic into that slot. Might be a bit risky, but if it pays off, it's going to help us out a ton, because the Venusaur is going to be quite threatening in the sand otherwise. And I can't imagine my opponent just allowing it to just get taken down straight away, because a Fake Out like Psychic is such a strong combination. So we do Mega Evolve ourselves after that Charizard Y Mega Evolves, feeling Gardevoir. Let's see if this Protect comes out or not. No Protect. Oh, this is not good. So we need to really bank on us outspeeding. Oh no, this is going terribly, terribly wrong. Okay. And there's a Fire Pledge into the Gardevoir. Okay. Not ideal at all. Okay. So we've just pretty much had Gardevoir taken out of the game, really. Let's bring in T-Tar in this slot, and I think I'm going to pull a double switch here. Do I want to? Just Hitmontop's not really doing very much. Yeah, we've got to get T-Tar in, really. Too risky, that play, I think. Really too risky. Thing is, if I bring a Araquanid in now, it's probably going to get Sleep Powdered. Whereas we might get a free... You know, I could just go for a close combat, get some damage off onto like Charizard Y. And hopefully the eject button gets us out of there after the Sleep Powders went off. So you get T-Tar in. And there's a Sludge Bomb. That'll be into the Gardevoir slot, into T-Tar. Able to take that quite comfortably. Does pick up the poison. And there's a Heat Wave. So we will get that eject button activated on the top. And a burn. Very unfortunate. So let's bring in Araquanid. You've got to imagine that the Charizard switches out here. What does it switch out to? At least T-Tar can't be put to sleep now. That's a plus. So, you've got to imagine that the Charizard goes out into the Landorus. So I'm going to Ice Beam that slot, expecting that. And I'm going to go for a Bug Bite into the Venusaur. just to get some damage onto it. So there's a Charizard switch. No, it just protects. Okay. And just another Sludge Bomb into the Araquanid this time. Picking up the poison. It's not ideal. So we would have been better off going for the double into the Venusaur here. I think maybe overthinking our opponent. A little bit too much here maybe. And the poison slowly chipping away at both our Pokemon. Right, here I'm going to switch out T-Tar. I need to preserve it in case that Charizard does switch out, which it's likely to do. I'm going to go for a Hydro Vortex into the Charizard slot here. No switch out for my opponent, which is strange. So there's another Sludge Bomb into the Araquanid. Okay, and a Heat Wave. Do we survive this though? No. Okay. This is a bit of a disaster, this game. Yeah, we could have just went for the Rock Slide there. This is terrible. Like, just over predicting when we don't need to be doing it. You can see sometimes you just need to play a straight game. And we're so far behind now. I can't really see us making too much of a comeback here. Like, we are so far behind. I'll go for the Fake Out into the Venusaur, and I'm just going to go for a Rock Slide this turn. We'll probably see the Venusaur protect here and the Landorus come in. Yeah, Landorus will come in now. Yeah, there we go. So we do get the Fake Out onto the Venusaur, so we might be able to get rid of that this turn. I don't know though. There's the Rock Slide. It's not quite enough to get rid of the Venusaur either. We'll go down the next turn though. But I think Hitmontop's going to go down to burn damage here, so it kind of locks us into our sand. Oh, Hitmontop does survive just about. Okay. So we can go for a feint into the Venusaur. The thing is though, like, we can switch in Gardevoir, so we've got the T-Tar to come back in. But my opponent's still got full Pokemon. It doesn't really matter at this point. I think the game's far too far gone. Which is really disappointing, because I think the big thing here is just kind of like really kind of just over predicting, like thinking my opponent's going to react completely differently to what we need to do. We could have just played straight down the line, like the first turn going for the feint, predicting the protect. If we just went for the Fake Out there, things would have worked out completely differently for us. We could have got rid of the Venusaur straight away, which is just a bit of a shame, to be honest. Complete disaster, but a good kind of example of just kind of you know, overthinking turns sometimes and making life way more difficult for yourself than it actually needs to be. If you just play straight down the line, just what's in front of you, rather than thinking about the what ifs. And that's when the risky plays start coming into it, like we've seen here, and we got really punished for it. So can't complain about anything other than the fact that we just played it a bit badly. So we'll just forfeit here, which is a bit of a shame. But never mind. Good game to my opponent. But very disappointing from our end. Very disappointing. We'll have one more game, and we'll see how we get on. And I'm just going to do one more, an extra one. I know it might be a bit longer, today's episode, but I don't really want to leave the episode like that. And plus, We have the no live stream today, so to make up for it a little bit, I'll play an extra game. Hopefully it makes up for it a little bit. It's so disappointing when you do that, you know. There's no need to make risky plays either. That's the thing. There was no need to make those risky plays when we did. So there's not really any excuses. So we have our next opponent and final opponent of the episode. They are running a team of Tapu Fini, Heatran, Landorus T, Kangaskhan, Cresselia and Zapdos. So a very kind of standardish looking team that we've seen run a plethora of times through the Battle Spot ladder. So we've got the terrain control there with the Tapu Fini. We'll probably need Zapdos support here to take care of that. Heatran, big threat as well, but we do have Excadrill, we do have Araquanid, Hitmontop that can come in very handy here, especially against things like the Kangaskhan as well. Cresselia is going to be a bit of a pain, but we do have T-Tot and Gardevoir as well to help us out. So it's just kind of picking out what we want to bring here, because I feel like I want to bring all 6 Pokemon to this match, but we obviously can't do that. Intimidate support's going to be big, I think, here, and the fake out support as well, so we will bring Hitmontop. You've got to expect maybe the Landorus to lead here, so I will bring Gardevoir as a lead. T-Tot would be very nice. Zapdos as well. What could we get away with? I think we got Tyranitar and Araquanid here. Yeah. I think we leave Zapdos at home. Even though it's the first thing that you would think of to get rid of the Fini. I think we've got other ways to get around the Fini. Like, we've got Gardevoir, it's going to hit it for good damage. If it's got a berry, we can steal it with Araquanid. If we can get into a Trick Room as well, it's gonna make it a lot easier to deal with Rock Slides and so on. So we'll see how we get on. We see my opponent lead off with the Landorus and Zapdos here, and we lead off with a Hitmontop and Gardevoir. So we're not in a bad situation here at all. We do get our Intimidate off. We are Intimidated, of course, ourselves. Now, what do we want to do? I think we're probably better off, rather than faking out the Landorus, better off... are we? Because the Landorus is either going to switch out, expecting the fake out onto it, bring in the Fini, I would imagine, and probably try and hopefully activate the... the seed potentially on that Zapdos. So we could fake out the Zapdos, set up a Trick Room maybe, or we could just fake out the Zapdos and go for a Hyper Voice. Probably, while we can, probably better off going for a Trick Room, to be honest, because if the Heatran comes in, we've got the Araquanid in the back that we can bring in on it. We've got the T-Tar we can bring in on the back of it. So if we see the Landorus U-turn out of here, then that's fine. It's not going to do too much damage. We have got the Intimidate onto it, so I feel like we're probably making the better choice here. Targeting down the Zapdos. And there's the U-turn. So it is going to go onto the Gardevoir. That Intimidate helping reduce the damage there. We are going to see it withdraw, and what we're going to see come out in its place. And it is the Fini, yeah. We're going to see a Seed activate. No Seed activate on the Zapdos though. But we do get a Trick Room up, which is nice. So, we could actually just sit in here with Hitmontop, go for a Helping Hand, and go for a Hyper Voice. Get some big damage off while we can with Gardevoir. Because if Hitmontop gets hit, which it likely is, the eject button will activate, but we've already got our move off, so we can take advantage of it that way. So there's the Helping Hand. Hitmontop helping out Gardevoir, and there's the big Hyper Voice. So this should do a good chunk of damage to both Pokemon. Huge damage. So we do activate a berry on the Zapdos there, which is a Citrus Berry, and we see the Tapu Fini just go for a Moonblast, but It is into the God of War. Okay. And there's a Thunderbolt doubling into the... Oh, into the Hitmontop. Okay. I don't mind that at all. What do? Do I bring in a Rakun into here? Because God of War's taken a lot of damage. And the sand, residual sand damage isn't going to be ideal, but I feel like T-Tar is probably too good not to bring in this position. So we get the T-Tar in, and we can straight away just pressure with both Hyper Voice and Rock Slide. There's no reason not to in this situation. We might see the Landorus come in, but then if it does come in, what's it going to do that next turn? So we've got at least one more turn of sand damage with our God of War, but we can take a pretty big lead here if we get this attack off. So I'm just going to go for the same again, Rock Slide, Hyper Voice. And we know we underspeed both threats on my opponent's side of the field because the God of War went first that last turn, so we've got no risk there. Rock Slide off. No switches, and we just pick up 2 KOs. Very nice. And we'll see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. Well, last 2 Pokemon. We know the Landorus is there, but we do have Ice Beam on our T-Tar, which is nice. We still have Hitmontop in the back as well. God of War will go down this next turn to the sand damage, so we might want to think about maybe switching it out, keeping it for later on in the game, depending on what my opponent has. I wonder if it's the Heatran. That's the Kangaskhan. Okay. That's fine. So we're probably going to see a fake out come out here from the Kangaskhan. Maybe imagine. But it can only fake out one target. So I'm going to just go for a Ice Beam. And I'm going to go for a Hyper Voice as well. With God of War. We might see a fake out and a superpower into the Tyranitar, but we don't worry about that too much because we have got the Chople Berry on it. And if they do that, then we get a Hyper Voice off, which is huge. So there we go. There's Mega Kang, Mega Evolving. Throwing that baby out of its pouch, getting ready to get some beat down on. So there's the fake out. Who's it into? Is into the God of War. Okay. So as long as this Landorus isn't Assault Vest, then we should pick up the KO with the Ice Beam. So there's the Ice Beam. I think it's Assault Vest. There's the superpower. But we do take it because of the Chople Berry. And I think we've got one turn of Trick Room left, have we? One turn. And if that is Assault Vest Landorus, then it means it hasn't got Protect, which is nice. So we can just take it out this next turn. So we should be able to close the game up pretty well, anyway. So let's see. How many turns of Trick Room? We've got one turn left. So let's just go for that Ice Beam. And let's go for the fake out into the Kangaskhan. And my opponent just forfeits. So knowing that we probably would be able to win out, we did have a Rakun in the back as well to come in, which could easily handle, I think, both of those threats. The positions they were in. Landorus, you know, already taking those defense drops, attack drop as well, so it wouldn't be hitting as hard. We can lock out the Kangaskhan that turn and get a big attack off with our T-Tar. So we're sitting alright. I think we would have been able to lock out, and that kind of makes up for that second game that we had, which was a complete disaster, but some good lessons to learn from that second game. Like I say, you know, there's no reason to take big risks or fancy plays or things like that. And those first few turns, you want to play it safe. And I think we just fell into that trap of thinking, we could maybe get a really big head start when we didn't need to. We had a good matchup against the Sun with our Tyranitar, our Sand. We just need to remember that, and we don't need to go fancy or anything like that. And I think it's just disappointing, frustrating at the same time, but something just to keep in mind going forward. And hopefully that kind of transitions into your guys' play as well when you get in similar situations. And you don't need to take unnecessary risks. You only take risks in Pokemon when it's 100% necessary and you feel like the reward is going to be more than the risk is worth losing, if that makes sense. But anyway, guys, we're going to wrap things up there. Thank you so much for dropping by. As always, it's a lot of fun having you here with us. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, remember to please leave a like if you can, if you would like to. It does help the channel out, helps me out a lot. Just in general, to know that the content that we're doing is appreciated and it's along the same lines as what you guys like. Let me know your comments about today's episode as well, the matches that we've played, if you've been playing the team yourselves and things like that, what your opinions are. Do let me know. I'd really like to hear what you guys think, especially if, like, you know, situations where you get yourself into in game 2 and things like that, where you just take unnecessary risks and it completely backfires. But I try to cover it as best I can in the amount of time that we have. Again, I'm super sorry about the stream schedule for this evening. I'm probably as disappointed as all of you that we're looking forward to it. But we will pick up on Thursday. Thursday for 100%. I've made sure that my diary is clear. I have nothing going on Thursday evening. So we will 100% 8 PM Thursday night be kicking off on our Twitch channel with our Battle Spot Double series. So we'll hang out for an hour, have some battles, chat, whatever, and talk about what's coming up on the channel and what plans I've got to bring into new series and things like that. So it'll be a lot of fun, guys. Do come and hang out. I'll make sure the updates are in tomorrow's episode of the School of Hard Knocks and our QR code episode tomorrow, so do not miss that because we have a very special guest on tomorrow evening. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks as always for coming by, hanging out, and I will see you all tomorrow. So whatever you're doing, have a great time, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and I'll see you later. So until then, bye bye.